Alright guys, it is time for me to finally review my most highly anticipated film of the year. I couldn't wait to go see this movie. And it's also one of the worst reviewed movies of the year by the critics. Shit. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with another movie review, and this is a review for a movie I have been waiting to see for 3 whole years since they announced that this movie was being made. I could not wait to see it. Okay, guys? You guys know how much I've been hyping this movie up. I've been doing news updates. I've covered this movie. I've done trailer reactions to it. I just did a whole week dedicated to the upcoming release of this movie, and I finally got a chance to see Transformers 4 Age of Extinction, and that's what I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today. Oh man, guys, I got out of the theater a little while ago, and now here I am with my review of the movie. And I really wanted to see it last night, go to the early 9 p.m. showing, but I couldn't. Nevertheless, I did get a chance to see it today. Even as I went to the theater, I was hyping this movie up so much. I did like a movie-ish trip vlog that I'm going to literally upload tomorrow after I edit it together. But anyway, getting into Age of Extinction, this is the next film in the Transformers franchise, once again directed by Michael Bay, and it's not a reboot, as to what some people actually thought in the beginning. It is the next film in the franchise. It's not a whole entirely new film, even though they did add new components to it. It is not a reboot. It is a sequel to the last Transformers movie. And as you guys know, I was really looking forward to Transformers Age of Extinction. It's my most anticipated film of the year. Take a look. Oh yeah, Autobot logo. Anyway, guys, and I really got a little discouraged a few days ago when the critic reviews started coming in. Because this is one of the worst movies of the year. As I said, the critics just have been relentless on this movie. They bashed it to a pulp, and you know what? What can you do? That's their opinion. Nevertheless, guys, Transformers Age of Extinction is a really fun and entertaining movie. It is the definition of a summer movie, summer blockbuster, in my opinion. It is so enjoyable. However, it isn't free without flaws, because the movie definitely has a few problems with it here and there, which I'm going to get into in this review, and I'm going to discuss them. I'm not going to be biased because I'm a huge Transformers fanboy and I was really looking forward to this movie. I'm not going to say this is the best movie of the summer, because it's honestly not. It's got some flaws to it. Anyway, guys, let's get into the actual review. I will talk about all of that later on. Right now in this video, I am first going to discuss the premise of Transformers Age of Extinction. Now, the movie is set 4 years after the events of Transformers Dark of the Moon, in which the Autobots and the Decepticons made a huge mess of Chicago, killing millions of people in the process, and the Autobots defeated the Decepticons. Now, the humans, 4 years later, the humans are not happy with the way things have turned out, the way we've lost so many people in the Chicago battle, and the Autobots are going to face consequences from doing that, even though they were trying to defend us from the Decepticons, who ended up slaughtering all of us. The humans believe in this movie that the Autobots are no good, and we would all be better off if they were never on our planet to begin with. So they set up a government program run by Kelsey Grammer's character that is executing the remaining Autobots. They are hunting them down and terminating them. And all the Autobots, the remaining Autobots, go into hiding at the request of Optimus Prime, who also goes into hiding and is found in his rusty old truck form by a struggling inventor known as Cade Yeager, played by Mark Wahlberg. Now, Mark Wahlberg's character is struggling to make money. You know, family's not doing so well financially. His daughter is getting ready to go off to college. He has to deal with the fact she's growing up. He finds the rusty old truck version of Optimus Prime and thinks, you know, maybe this would be a good idea to, you know, strip it down for parts, you know, make some money off it. And it turns out he just found a Transformer. And now he's going to get involved with the government because they're hunting down the Autobots. And the Autobots are not only being hunted down by the government, they're also being hunted down by a ruthless Decepticon bounty hunter known as Lockdown. And that is basically the premise of Transformers Age of Extinction. I shouldn't even say it's the premise. I should say it's really the first 40 minutes of the movie, because there is a something else going on in this movie, something else that is big that is going on in this movie that kind of is teased in the trailers, but I personally don't want to spoil what's going on in the rest of the movie. I basically summed up the first 40 minutes of the movie for you guys. That's all I'm going to say about the premise of the movie, because there's definitely something else going on. Now, a lot of people have been hating on this movie, okay, guys? Some people say it's better than Revenge of the Fallen, but it's still not a good movie. Some people even say it's worse than Revenge of the Fallen, which, in my opinion, is still the weakest Transformers movie. And after having seen Age of Extinction, I would say that it's definitely better than Revenge of the Fallen. It's not the worst Transformers movie, yet it still has its flaws, and it's not the best Transformers movie. And here's what I have to say about everyone who doesn't like these movies. Guys, I'm sorry, but if you don't like Michael Bay, because he's returned to direct and Transformers 4, and I know that he added new things to the movie, and he's doing new things to reinvigorate the franchise, give it some fresh, some fresh air in it, like make it something new for, the new generation of fans and the fans from the past. Change things up a little bit. He did try to do that, but a lot of people have still been bashing him for it, and ultimately, guys, I have to say this much. If you're really hating on this movie, I understand that. That's your opinion. I'm not saying this is a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely riddled with flaws, and it has its problems. However, I don't think that you were ever meant to enjoy this movie, because this movie isn't really for the critics or people who aren't fans of the movies. These are for the fan. This movie is exactly the type of movie that I think the fans were wanting in regards to taking the franchise to new heights and doing things differently and adding certain things into the movie. I think this is just for the fans, and I think that's what some of Michael Bay's movies are for. They're just for the fans. Yes, the writing is lacking in this movie. Yes, there's problems. Yes, it feels bloated at times and very jumbled and very what's the word? It feels like way too much is going on in the movie. It definitely feels like that. However, I still found enjoyment in the movie. Nevertheless, I'm going to get into problems I had with the movie later on. Right now, I would like to discuss the cast, because we do have a lot of new actors this time around. Briefly, I'm just going to rattle out a lot of names. I'm not going to talk about every actor, but we have Mark Wahlberg as the new lead. We have Jack Rayner, Nicola Peltz, Stanley Tucci, Titus Welliver, Kelsey Grammer, and T.J. Miller, just to name a few actors. And let's talk about Mark Wahlberg real quick. I was a little hesitant when I found out that he was cast as the lead role in the movie, and I was kind of saying, you know what, I always love Shia LaBeouf, but I'm curious to see how Wahlberg's going to do it. I've always enjoyed him as an actor, and you know what, guys? My two favorite parts of this movie, two of my favorite things about this movie, were definitely Mark Wahlberg and Stanley Tucci. First off with Mark Wahlberg, he was great in the movie. I know he's playing the overprotective father as he's watching out for his daughter, Nicola Peltz's character. He's playing that character, and a lot of people said that he overdid it with that. I didn't think so. I liked that was like the sort of the running joke with his character in the movie, and he kept like threatening Jack Rayner's character because he's the boyfriend of Nicola Peltz. I liked that whole aspect, and I think Mark Wahlberg just had a lot of fun with this movie. You could tell he was definitely dedicated to the role, and even though his role as a character wasn't that, like important, I guess you could say, it's still, he brought something interesting to the human side of the story of the movie, and I really liked that. He definitely got involved in the action and a couple scenes, and I really enjoyed his presence in the movie, I must say. Now, Stanley Tucci's character is like this important business person. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a whole other subplot going on with Stanley Tucci's character, how he's this business person trying to figure out the ways of the Transformers, basically. That's all I want to say. He's sort of the comic relief character. He's kind of like the John Turturro of Age of Extinction. And my God, he is so good in this movie. Stanley Tucci is always dedicated, and he always gives his all in every single thing he does. I've loved a lot of his movies I've seen him in, and he is so good in Age of Extinction. There was one scene in this movie, I'm not going to spoil it, one thing he says, I lost it, okay? I laughed in so many of his lines. He had most of the funniest, great lines of the movie, in my opinion. He was definitely, you could tell, he gave this movie his all. He was dedicated, as was Wahlberg, and it really paid off because he was excellent in this movie. Now, Nicola Peltz, I was really kind of worried about her in the movie because she sucked in The Last Airbender. But I will say this much. while her character really had no importance in this movie, her acting was fine. I'm going to say for Transformers, it was fine. I'm not going to say it was better than Megan Fox. I'm not going to say it's worse than Megan Fox. Maybe it is better than Megan Fox. I don't know. But it was decent for this movie. I overall didn't have any problems with it. I was surprised, actually, that she was better than I thought she was going to be. The real problem in regards to acting is kind of Jack Reynor. Jack Reynor playing the boyfriend, I didn't care for him. Not only did I feel his character wasn't really necessary to the movie, and I just didn't care for the lines he was given or his actual performance. It's just, I kind of felt he didn't even need to be there. But you can't have Mark Wahlberg, who's like in his like late 30s or early 40s, I don't know, and then Nicola Peltz, who's 19 years old, starring together, father-daughter in a movie. That would just look weird. So you need Jack Reynor's character playing the boyfriend. But I just didn't really care. He didn't need to be in the movie, and his acting wasn't that great. And I was worried because they didn't show him a lot in the TV spots, and now I know why. He wasn't that good in the movie. But Kelsey Grammer was good. Titus Welliver was fine. Decent performances, but except for Jack Reynor, in my opinion. And Wahlberg and Tucci were great. Moving on from the cast, guys, I'm going to get into my rating, get into a few problems I had with the movie, and get into the things I loved about the movie. There's still a lot of things I didn't praise. I still didn't even talk about the Autobots and the Dinobots yet, which I'm going to talk about a lot of other things in my spoiler review. I really am restricted due to time. I don't want to sit here so long talking about the whole entire movie. There's so much to talk about. There's so much going on in this movie. It definitely feels confusing and jumbled at a few parts because of the very bloated and kind of like messy story. Even though it was entertaining, it was still kind of messy. Nevertheless, I'm going to talk about all the Autobots and the Dinobots and the Decepticons in my spoiler review and a spoiler chat that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Nevertheless, guys, you know what? Like I said earlier, Transformers Age of Extinction is not for everyone. If you're not a fan of this franchise, this isn't for you. I simply just, right off the bat, don't see it. You're not going to like it. There's really nothing new here. Michael Bay is giving us his Bayisms that he's given us in the first 3 movies. This isn't for you, then. If you like that stuff that Michael Bay does, if you like his explosions and his hot girl extras in the movie, then I think you're going to like the movie like I did. I like Michael Bay. I like his directing style. I like his Transformer movies, and I liked Age of Extinction as an entertaining summer movie. With that said, I'm going to give Age of Extinction an 8.5 out of 10. It is a very fun and entertaining summer blockbuster, despite the fact that it does have some flaws. Getting into the things I loved about the movie, like I already said, Stanley Tucci and Mark Wahlberg were great in the movie. I think Steve Jablonsky, again, does a great job with the score, always has, and Hans Zimmer was also working with him. The Imagine Dragons song Battle Cry, which was played in the movie several times, was awesome. It's no Linkin Park, nowhere near replaces Linkin Park at all. It doesn't even as good as Linkin Park, but for this movie, I think the song very well fit the tone of the movie and what was going on in the scenes where it was played, and I overall do like the song Battle Cry, so that was great. The overall premise was interesting in my opinion. It was intriguing. I just think the movie kind of got lost in itself as it progressed. I loved the new Autobot characters. I did love the new redesigns, the new designs on the vehicles for the Autobots and for some of the Decepticons. The new designs in their robot forms. I think they look great. Optimus looked great. All the transformations looked clean, and all the visuals on the Transformers themselves looked great in my opinion. Moving on. The action scenes are incredible. I did not see this movie in 3D. I'm going to see it again in 3D. But there were so many shots in this movie, I'm sitting there like, why didn't I see this in 3D opening day? But what are you going to do? But anyway, I loved the action was incredible. There were so many breathtaking and jaw-dropping shots in the movie of the Autobots, you know, like flying around, you know, interacting with the humans. There's a great scene on Lockdown Ship. There's, oh my god, there were so many entertaining action sequences, fight scenes, you know, scenes with the Transformers themselves, and the visual effects were incredible, as they always are. Michael Bay and the whole visual effects team always managed to outdo themselves. And I loved the ending of the movie because it sets up this film for future movies that I think could be even better than this movie was and have an even better story. I love the way this movie ended. With all that said, I do have some flaws, nevertheless. Mainly, like I already said, Jack Reynor, didn't care for him. And one thing that really upset me, and I'm not saying this to, you know, hurt the film, but the Dinobots were so well marketed, and it's kind of like a ploy to get you into the movie if you're just going for the Dinobots, because the Dinobots did not get enough screen time. I have to bash the movie for that. I mean, I was really looking forward to Dinobots, and they're in like 15-20 minutes of the movie. It was very upsetting, but I still enjoyed the other Transformers that were in the movie and had more screen time than the Dinobots themselves, which was still upsetting, but what are you going to do? Anyway, and then my biggest problem with the movie definitely goes to the writing involving the second and the third half of the movie. The writing and the editing, mostly. It's because the movie, there's so much going on. There's so many subplots. There's like 3 different stories going on, but it all just feels so heavy and so bloated, and it feels like it's hard to pay attention. Like, you're watching one thing, and then something else happens, you're like, wait. Whoa, I'm a little confused. Things do get a little confusing from time to time. There's just so much taken apart from the action and the story. You have to take all of that in. That's why I need to see the movie a second time. And also the editing. It felt like some scenes were taken out. You're like, something happens and then something else happens. You're like, wait, how did that happen? How did these characters get from there to there? Why is this character doing this now? So, like, what happened? Like, definitely felt like there were some missing scenes. Even though the movie is long, which I don't have a problem with, it still feels like it's bloated and it's a little messy with execution. I think that they had something good going with the story, but it just failed execution-wise. With that being said, guys, what can I say about Age of Extinction? It's a fun, entertaining, action-packed summer movie that I think needs to be seen in 3D if you're a fan, and that's who this movie is for. It's for the fans of the Transformers and the fans of Michael Bay. And that's all I have to say about Age of Extinction. 8.5 out of 10, guys. Sorry for the fact this review is so long, but I did have a lot to say. And I am going to be doing a spoiler-filled review very, very shortly, so you guys can stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching my review, and what did you think of Transformers 4 Age of Extinction? Let me know down below. Did you hate it as much as everyone else seemed to? Let me know what you think about all that down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye, guys.